I filed a claim approximately a year ago, and I kind of made a mess of the whole thing, and I thought I'd somewhat cleaned it up. What I did was I made a claim for my property that was taken approximately 3 years ago, my children, and I tried straightening out my paperwork. I tried straightening out my claim, and just a short while ago, I tried to get a court date to make my claim in court, and at court. Sorry about that. And in the meantime, the Attorney General filed a court date in my case.
Yes, a man. There's no Attorney General. There's a man.
Exactly.
A man. There's a man. Came forward,
right.
acted as Attorney General, and did what?
He got a court date set for September 2nd.
What court date? Only a man can set a court date.
Okay.
Obviously, it's not under your jurisdiction. Obviously, it's not a court in which you wish to appear in, because you're a woman or a man.
Right.
You don't have to. It's fine. So you want me to accept as, appear in your court? You're going to have to appear in my court, Bob Smith, who acts as an Attorney General. I'll act, and I'll appear in your court. The only problem is when I appear and act in your court, I'm going to throw a claim down in front of on top of your case. And my claim is going to trump your case. Because I'm acting and appearing as a man. You have to act and appear as a man as well. Simple.
When he filed the motion to have my claim dismissed, he used my case number. So is he in my court or am I in his court?
No. It's not your case number. Did you create that number?
With my claim,
no.
Yes.
No. It's the court clerks filed that case number. She created that case number. That's for their ease of filing and their ease of being able to find it and locate it. It's their location number. Big deal.
Okay.
Just like your address. Where are you located on planet Earth? Zip code 1174. Well, there you go. It's just for ease of communicating with you. Big deal. It's not some nefarious thing. It's like, oh, now I'm property of the United States government because I got a zip code. Oh, my God. I don't have any freaking zip code. I don't control them. I don't create them. They have no capacity to move me or control me. They say, well, the United States government. Okay, Mr. United States government, that's a funny name for a kid. Mrs. United States government, well, that's a funny name for a lady. Well, the United States government does what? No. A man or a woman who acts in the capacity of the United States, whether it's a person or is it a living, breathing man or woman? Now, which one is it? I believe the United States government is a person, not a man. And only another man can make a claim that I've done him wrong or harm, and only a man or a woman can compel me to perform, and only a man or woman can compel me to perform, then I'm going to ask for fair and just compensation after I produce upon them a product or deliver them a service. They're going to compensate me fair and justly. So, like I said, what's the big deal if this man filed it to dismiss your case? Didn't you just answer back and say, is Bob trying to dismiss my case? I don't wish my case to be, opened until it comes before a jury. Don't anybody, he might wish for my case to be dismissed. This man might wish that it just goes away, but it's not going to go away. My case is going to be, like in accordance to the common law, going to be brought forth before the jury and let the jury make a ruling. It's nice that he wishes it to be dismissed. So what? He could also wish he wins the lottery. So what? If you have a winning lottery ticket, he could wish that the court dismiss your claim that you have the winning lottery ticket. He's like, wait a second, I got the lottery ticket in my hand. I got the winning numbers. I see it right here. Well, he wishes for us to dismiss it. It's like, well, you know what? That's lovely that he wishes me not to collect that money. Does he have a claim that this is his ticket? No. Okay. Then how does he, the court's going to dismiss it. Oh, really? The only problem is that we act in accordance to the common law. And the only person that's going to dismiss my claim that I have the winning ticket, that I have the winning lottery numbers, is going to be a member of my jury. It's going to be the jury who's going to determine whether or not this is a bona fide lottery ticket. Not the members of the legal society, my fellow man. And I have the right to move my claim before my fellow man. Not a legal society, not the Boy Scout Society, not the Girl Scout Society.
Right.
And that's all. You got to get this concept in your head. So what? That he wants to dismiss it. Who cares?
Okay. I guess then my second question would be: Do I appear on September 2nd and put my claim before the court, or do I go into the courthouse and try to get my own court date?
I don't know what your case is. What do you mean? He wants to dismiss your case, right?
Right.
Why does he want to dismiss it? When or why?
He wants to dismiss it either through a summary judgment or abuse of the process is what he had put on there.
Okay, abuse of whose process? The legal society? You say, I have no knowledge of what, where. Okay. You gotta have to start to understand that you do not speak legalese.
Right.
Say this, and okay. You're looking at something written by this guy, this man, but he's not acting as a man, he's acting as an attorney general. For some reason, you're still reading this stuff, and you're still allowing it to impact you and affect you. You just have to say to the court, if anybody trespasses on my case, I'm going to hold them liable. If any man or woman tampers on my case, opens my case, reviews my case, makes a judgment on my case, alters my case, amends my case, makes any kind of determination whatsoever before my case gets opened before the jury, is going to be held liable for the trespass on the case. You wish to have your case remain sealed, shut, closed, not open, not examined. It's like taking it through customs. I don't want anybody opening up my case. I want it to be left intact. It's a Fabergé egg. It's got certain things a certain way. I don't want these customs clowns to open it up and crack the damn eggs open to see if there's any yellow cake or uranium coming through here. Just leave the damn case, leave the damn egg alone. Don't crack it, don't open it, don't do nothing. I'm going to hold you liable. Anybody who trespasses, anybody who cracks that freaking egg, I'm going to hold you liable. It's that freaking simple. Just tell them to make it perfectly clear. Did you wish for a trial by jury? Yes. Then say it's to remain sealed until the jury is convened, until the jury is, sequestered, and the jury determines whether or not there's merit to my case. That is the only, man or woman on planet Earth that has any control or capacity to move my case other than myself. I'm always surrendering my case to the jury. I'm not surrendering it to a legal society or crown prosecutor. I'm not surrendering it to a crown judge or a crown nobody. I'm surrendering my case to my fellow man. That's it. This is so simple, it's scary.
Let me ask you a question here, Karl. So that woman that was in Arizona, or was it New Mexico, that went into court and asked for her property to be returned to her, was there a jury present when she did that?
Nope, absolutely not. Because you know what was great about her? She spoke no English. She only spoke what I told her to speak, nothing more, nothing less. And that's what gets you women in so much freaking trouble. You'll start to be reasonable about this. You'll start to want to explain your side of the story. You'll want to answer their questions because you think, well, that's nice, or I'm going to show them strong and determined. I'm going to show them something. No. This Mexican woman only knew how to say, that's my property, property returned, return property, return my property now, property now, return property. That's
okay,
what she knows to say.
Shouldn't this young lady do the same thing?
No, because she won't be able to handle it. She won't do it. She will not do it.
Well, it sounds like she's already put in a claim.
Okay, and she still believes that there's something called some sort of prosecutor, attorney general, or crown barrister or something that has some sort of a power and authority and control over her case. Only her fellow man has the capacity to have fingertips and eyeballs to read it and see this. A prosecutor doesn't have that capacity. It's a claim from a man. It's a godlike image. It's something created by God. You better turn your eyes. You're going to be blinded. You don't have the capacity to stand and talk to God face to face. It ain't going to happen. Like the story with like Moses, whatever. He tried to look at God or turned away, and he still was like his hair turned white and whatever happened to him. You can't look. You can't look into the face of your Creator. You can't do it. So that's what I'm saying. He's not going to come after you as a man saying that what you're saying is not true. He's going to come to you in person, behind a mask, behind a wig, behind a big black gown. He's going to come into court dressed as a woman, not as a man. He's going to be wearing a wig and a gown. He's not going to appear in court as a man. He's going to appear in court as like anything but a man. He's not going to appear in court man to man. He's going to become cloaked under color. He's going to be disguised under a mask in person. He is not going to appear in court as a man. You could ask him a simple question, are we talking man to man? They'll say, absolutely not. He will never hold himself out liable to talking man to man. They're like, let's just talk man to man. No, I'm going to talk legalese. No, I'm not going to hold myself out liable. No, I'm going to hide. I'm going to hide behind this mask. I'm going to only appear in person. And you're going to appear in person too. Oh, no, I'm not. I don't wish to. I'm going to appear as a man. And the only person that's going to come forth, man, better take his mask off and he better appear as a man as well. I want to know who's I'm fighting against. You better drop that mask.
So she can't go into court and say, I demand you return my property? Or?
She could say that. I don't know why she hasn't said it the first time she walked in there.
Because I didn't really have your process down till after my family court was already done.
No, there is no process. You see, I return my property. She robbed me of my property. I order you to return it. How hard is that? Look, lady, this is what I've been doing since I've been little. Because your 3-year-old has been doing this.
It is a process, Carl. It is a process.
No, I'm telling you, a 3-year-old kid knows how to walk to mom and say, that boy or that girl or my sister, my brother took my dolly. Mommy, return my property. Order them to return my property. And mommy say, return her property immediately. Return her dolly immediately. This is not some sort of process that Carl all of a sudden discovered. This is what a 3-year-old knows. That's my dolly. Mommy, order her to return it. Mommy will say, return it. It's that simple. There's nothing to this.
You do have a way of making it sound very easy, and I know it is. But the thing is that I've been trying since January to try and get a new claim put in. I have into the courthouse. I haven't been successful at all, and that's part of my problem is that I haven't been successful trying to get a claim into the courthouse and trying to stand my ground and stand as a woman. So that's one half of the problem right there. And then finally, when this man acting as the Attorney General came along and got a court date, I thought, well, at least there's half my battle, because then I can appear in court as a woman and bring my claim forth and try and get my property restored to me that way.
Well, you better have your claim into the court way before you walk into the court.
Yeah, everything's already been filed. I do have one other question for you about my claim.
If you have a claim before the court, all you have to do is say, at the time of my appearance, I'm going to require the court to hear my claim at the same time that it's hearing this attorney, whatever this man known as Attorney General.
Okay.
See, this is what I'm saying. You've got to hold these people. See, you said that there's somebody called an Attorney General?
Right.
Okay.
Peter.
Okay, Peter. The guy's name is, okay, so he's saying the Attorney General. And so you got to call him Peter.
Right.
You know, he says, I'm the Attorney General. It's like, is that your first name, middle name, the Attorney General? What is that the name you go by? Is that your name, Attorney General? What's your name, Peter? And he says, well, no, I'm the Attorney General. I said, no, I'm here to talk to my fellow man. That woman's got my property. Or this man over here's got my property. And I order the immediate return of my property. Somebody in this room's got my property, and I order this court to return my property now. Who knows the whereabouts? Who knows the location of our property? Bring it forth and return it upon I now. Simple.
Okay.
Jesse did it. There's a million times that you guys listen to Jesse doing it in New Brunswick. For 10 days I had to... Man, it was funny. She said she got all our personal recordings between me and her, and I talked to her like a truck driver. I cursed her, and you have no idea, because she couldn't stop. All I kept saying to her is, can you point out to the woman who took your property, your child? Yes, your children. Yes. Point to that woman and say she robbed me. Point to the judge, order her to return my property. That's it. Me and her went around for 10 days to get her to just say those two little phrases. 10 days just to say that. I cursed. I said, man, I'll come through that to Canal 42 once, and I'll snap your husband in half. I said, what the hell's wrong with you people? Can you just not say this? Because I was tricking. I was like trying to play court scenario with them. Okay, the judge might say this. She might stand up. She might sit down. He might say this. And we just going over courtroom scenarios. Now what would you say? And she answered. I said, oh, damn, how dumb can you pay? You're supposed to say, return property. I order property. Return property. That's it. robbed of property, returned property, order property. That's it. Can you not just say like those simple words? It took me 10 days before I said to myself, so now she's got this. Now, no matter what this judge does, no matter what he says or how he tries to trick her, I don't care if he yells at her, curses at her, screams at her, smiles at her, gives her lemonade, hits her with a baseball bat, she's going to do it exactly the way I said. Because I just beat it into her. But I don't have the energy to beat it into every single person who calls me. That's why I made these calls. That's why there's all recordings. That's why Jesse's on the earlier calls, and she explains exactly what me and her went through and made it super simple. And everybody sees her claim. And it's great. We finally found the claim that she put before the court, and it was so funny. The court clerk actually crossed out words that I wrote for her, and the court clerk put in legalese words. It was amazing to see that the court clerk actually trespassed upon the case that flagrantly. It was hysterical. It was called suggested revisions. That's what the court clerk said. These are my suggested revisions. And I actually got them. It's hysterical. The lady just totally crossed out the whole entire claim, and she wrote the claim for Jesse. It's funny as hell. That, like I said, the very first thing the judge, she wrote, I can accept files only in court of Queen's Bench, jurisdictional district of St. John's only, not in any other court. So, because what Jessie did is she made it the dissent court, that's dissent Arsenal, it was the Arsenal court at the court of Queen's Bench of New Brunswick. So the lady crossed out the dissent, the Arsenal court. She crossed out Jesse's court. Like Jesse's court's going to appear at Queen's Bench. The court clerk, I actually had the piece of paper from the court clerk scribbling everything out. It's hysterical that the court clerk would trespass so flagrantly on a case, and now we got absolute proof beyond proof that the lady was just wrote what this is how you have to file your claim. Because she got rid of the saying wrongdoers, and the court clerk wrote defendants. It's funny. She crossed out the word prosecutor and said that Jesse has to be considered a plaintiff and not a prosecutor. That she's not a prosecutor, she's a plaintiff. It's funny, all the revisions and all the redactions that a court clerk did to Jesse's case. It's like she crossed out the claim of trespass and wrote statement of claim. See, that's what a lawyer would write. A lawyer would make a statement of claim.
Right.
Jesse wrote a claim of trespass. It's just simple. It's like, I, a woman aggrieved, claim the wrongdoers trespass against my property. See Exhibit A, B, C, and D. Number 2, no law exists which binds I to the wrongdoers. 3, I require the delivery of all said property be under my jurisdiction no later than May 7th, 2013. 4, I will place a charge. That's what it was. A place a charge of $1,000 a day per said trespasser for any failure in the restoration of property on said date. And then the last one was, if the placement of all said property does occur on or before May 7th, 2013, I will forgive those who trespass of their debt as I would wish others to forgive me of my trespass, of my debts. And that was her whole entire claim. That was it. And the court clerk, she just started scribbling things out like crazy and saying, no, you can't write this, you got to write this. But what was great is that there's actual court clerk's handwriting on the claim with all these scribbles and writing her words and how Jesse should the recommended. It's called suggested revisions. That's how the court clerk wrote it. She said, these are my suggested revisions of your claim. Right, that way you're talking legalese. That way we can answer you. That way we can have a trial. That way we can move in accordance to our legal codes and our legal society. But the words you used, we can't answer to them. There's nothing for us to say. If you want to have a fight, well, it's going to be one-sided. You're going to win. And we like to have a battle. We like to see a good fight. So you put up your legalese mind against our legalese mind, and let's have a go. And I'm like, no, you're going to get slaughtered. You can't speak to them with legal code. Look what happened to Andrew's friend, Erwin Shift. He's the best legalese code decipherer IRS in the history of planet Earth. There will never be anybody as smart as him when it comes to that. And he got clobbered. Because it's not his court, it's not his code, it's not his rules, he did not write it, he's not the creator, he has no right to interpret it. And they made him be on it clear as a bell. And hopefully he's got it through his head by now. I have no capacity to interpret or tell anybody what it reads. I'm not the creator. I'm not the sovereign. I could be a defendant. I could be a willing participant. I could voluntarily, consent to be under his control of jurisdiction, but I'm certainly not in a capacity to tell somebody in a hierarchy, like a judge or a code enforcement officer, his job. That's not my job. I'm a private down here. That's a corporal. That's a lieutenant. That's a captain. That's a general. I'm not within their hierarchy. No matter how smart I am as Aaron Shift, I'm still a private. I'm still way down at the bottom. And they were never going to respect my authority. It doesn't matter. It's like, General, it would be so much simpler if we just walked around the tree. Why are we going through the tree? Well, I'm the general, and I say this is the way we... Oh, dude, come on, let's just walk around. No, we got to take that tree down. Oh, dude, come on, can we just... No. And that's what they're going to teach you. You walk into their code, their world, you are nobody. No matter how brilliant you think you are, how to go around everything, it's not going to allow it to happen. Like my cousin, he's a motorcycle cop out of my webpage who I had on for the longest time. He might still be on that. He was a state trooper, and he got killed on his motorcycle, his own personal motorcycle. And but what was funny is when we went to high school, he was the kid, blonde hair, blue-eyed German kid, and he stood up straight, had his, his books in his arms, and he would never say hi to me in the hallway. My cousin, the female, she would say hi, but he was my cousin. He would never say hello to me because he was like, oh, you're riffraff. So he went into the Air Force, and when I saw him at his brother's child's communion, confirmation of baptism, it was his baptism, he came over to me and hugged me. And I said, whoa, what's with the hug? You wouldn't say hi to me in high school for 4 years. Now all of a sudden, you're my best friend? He says, Carl, I joined the Air Force. He says, there's like 10 things you have to do. He says, you know what, I could cut out 7 of 10 steps, and I can make this so much more efficient and so much quicker, my job. But no, I have to do all 10 steps. He says, this is like, the military service is like for complete morons. He said, there's no reason why we have to keep adding more and more of these steps when we can get it done in 3 steps. But if we try to bring it up to our supervisors or our superiors, why are we doing these 7 steps that are no longer necessary or required? This is ridiculous. We're wasting resources and time. Can't we just make it more efficient and just skip through all this nonsense and get right to the point? And he was like, no, they will not allow it. And that's what I try to say to the legal society. They will not allow it. No matter how smart you think you are in their code, they are going to say, no, we are the general here. We are the captains. We are going to tell you what this code reads, and you're going to comply. Or else, don't volunteer for the Army. Don't volunteer for the IRS. There's never been a conscription army in the United States history. There's never been a time in the United States where you were forced to join the military. There's never been a time in the United States where you were forced to pay an income tax. Never. But you just believe that you are. Okay. Whatever you believe. You believe that piece of paper has control over you. You believe the Bible says everything is true. Okay. Lovely. I'm not going to argue with you. Yes, it is true. Everything on that IRS piece of paper is true. Everything on the Bible is true. What do you believe? What makes you happy? What does your Quran read to you? Okay. What does your Book of Mormon read to you? Okay. What do you believe? And that's all I try to do is tell people, look at what you're looking at and see if it's impacting you emotionally. A lot of people, like a Gus or a Mark or a Bali that's doing this stuff with me, they all say to me, Carl, it's so much easier to help other people than it is to help ourselves because we get emotionally impacted by seeing our own names on these documents. It scares the bejesus out of us. But helping somebody else is so much easier because we have no skin in the game. Right. So that's what I try to tell folks, thank God one black guy was on Angela's show and said Carl's been in more court one time than the judges have been. It makes it a lot easier for me. Right. It makes it a lot easier for me to not be intimidated or be afraid. And that one guy came on, the Trust and All Law guy, said that he spent days on end just sitting in courtrooms watching And I said, these are 10 words you should be listening for. And he listened to those 10 words. And then once he said, holy cow, Carl, he used these 10 words like over and over. Like
what
clockwork.
10 words?
I said, yes. Well, 10 words. I don't remember off the top of my head, but I'm just saying, when I told him on your show a while ago, about a year ago, listen for these words. And he went and he listened to them. And he's like, holy cow, Carl, they pop up all the time. I said, that's right. You know, like a big word, it's like person. One of the very first things is like, you know, is the person known as blah, blah, blah in this court. You know, because you're hiding behind a mask. You know, that's what person means in Greek. Is somebody dressed or disguised as this person known as Coca-Cola? Is Coca-Cola versus Pepsi in this courthouse today? Yes. Who's going to represent Coca-Cola? I will. Who's going to represent Pepsi? She will. Nothing personal. It's just everything's they're not attacking the man. It's so funny. They're going after the person. What is like I said, the big thing is that you got to get these people to understand. You know, is that when you file a claim, you put it before the court, you give it to the court clerk. You say, look, I filed your simple form for the ease of court filing purposes only. She's going to say, well, I can't accept this paperwork unless you fill this form out. Then I always tell people, make a cover letter that goes on top of their form and say, page 1, you know, JS-44 form, is for the ease of the filing the court clerk personnel only. It has no impact on the contents of this case. That's it. It just helps the court clerk put it in the outgoing box instead of the ingoing box, or the ingoing box to the outgoing box, or the civil box instead of the bankruptcy box, or instead of the divorce box, and she assigns it to certain, magistrates or judges. That's all she needs to know. Is this civil? Is this criminal? Is this going to be under the bankruptcy? You know, which judge do I give this to? Some judges, some court systems is lottery, that the judge just gets cases depending on luck of the draw, or some courthouses, the court clerk realizes, hey, this judge is really good in family law. I'm going to assign all the cases to him because he can move these like lightning. This other guy is great in bankruptcy court. When I toss in family law cases, holy cow, it takes him a year to decide. So the court clerk is the one who is supposed to be writing the paychecks, issuing the checks, and issuing out the cases to the judges. That's her job. So make it easy for her. Say, oh, what is this? Oh, it's a claim. Oh, what do you mean? A claim of a trespass, claim of wrong, you know. Oh, okay. But okay, we don't have that here. We have these forms. Okay, well then there you go, ma'am. This is your form filled out, but this is just for your ease of filing purposes only. What this is, yes, this is going to be what you would call a civil matter. Yes, so put it in a civil box and get it before a judge who kind of is competent in man versus man. That this has to do with something with restoration of property or a money matter. Put it in that box. This does not do with bankruptcy. This has nothing to do with divorce. It has to do with civil matters, property, money, compensation, breach of contract, whatever. And then you tell her, look, I made a delivery upon the defendants, the wrongdoers. I made 2 copies to you. Do not have anybody else in this court. Don't have any magistrate. Don't have any judge. Don't have anybody open the contents of this case. Don't have anybody trespass or judge it or review it until it gets before the jury. I wish for this case to remain sealed until it gets open in front of the jury. Just like they do with these grand juries. They said the case is to remain sealed until it goes before the grand jury. This case is to remain sealed until it becomes before the jury. That's all. It's that simple. And then if you say, whoa, Judge, are you a magistrate? Are you trying to give an opinion about my case? Yeah, wait a second. This case was to remain sealed. And it was not supposed to be brought forth into the public until the jury was seated. What's going on? Why are you trespassing? Why are you tampering my case? Are you touching my case? Are you giving an opinion on my case? It's like, Judge, how would you like it if the United States government or the Canadian government was filing criminal charges on me, and I told you, Judge, hey, you know what, dismiss that case against me. I didn't do anything wrong. Judge, go ahead and tell the United States government to back off now. You'd laugh at me. You'd say, no, we're not going to back off. We're going to let the United States government bring that case into the public before the jury. You would never tell the United States government, Judge, would you, to stop prosecuting me? You would never tell the United States government or the Canadian government, don't pursue this. You would never tell the United States or Canadian governments to stop. Why are you telling me to stop pursuing this? Why are you telling me to stop prosecuting? Why? what I think is that they're doing is unethical and wrong and not following the procedures. So you think I'm not following procedures? That's your opinion. Just let it go before the jury. Let it ride. It's that simple. Like I said, it's so simple that you just have to make it in 1 or 2 sentences. Don't use any of these citations or precedents or case law or constitutions or charters or great covenants or Bible. Just talk like a man. Say, hey, how would you like it if somebody did to you, sir? Ma'am, how would you like it? Leave it alone. It's my case. It's my suitcase. It's my suit inside of that case. Everything that's attached to that suit is for a particular reason. I put those buttons and that collar and a lapel on just in a certain manner. Don't you open up my case and rearrange my suit. I think the jury's going to love my suit once I put it on before I try it on before the jury. I think they're going to love my suit. Leave it alone. Well, we think you got to change this suit and we got to take him out and add him and you can't use this word. No, you don't tell me I can't use silver thread, gold thread, or platinum thread. You leave it alone. I'm going to put in my suit and I want to put it in my case and I want you to leave my case sealed until the jury gets to see this so I can present it to the jury. And they'll determine the merits of my suit. Not you. Not somebody who's paid by the legal society. It's ridiculous. Not somebody who's been sworn member to uphold the rules of the legal society. This is a public courthouse. I don't want a legal society judge here. I want a judge, just a judge of the public, from the public. I just want the judges are going to be my jury. They're the members of the public. Those are my judges. A guy in a black robe is not my judge. I'm not his private. I'm not a corporal. I'm not a captain. He's not the general. He's not the 800-pound gorilla, and I'm the little lamb. I'm not pleading. I'm not playing this little silly game with you people. I'm not doing this. I'm a man. This is my status. This is a public building. Bring the public, allow the world to view it. Take the roof off this building, make it an open forum. Let the whole world witness what's going on. Don't try to take this case and bury it. Don't try to take this case and not let it be exposed to the public. Nobody in the public is going to be caused any harm is going to befall any member of the public because I opened this case before the public. It's not Pandora's case. It's going to be okay. And if you don't believe me, you want me to put up a bond for any liability when you open up my case, it's going to cause a man or woman harm, tell me, what do you wish for the bond?